I think the next item on the agenda is about diabetes. We couldn't get anybody from the diabetes organization, but I'm just going to share my experience because I'm diabetic. And after I do that, and then Felicitas will share her experience about disability generally. Yeah, there are lots of leaflets back there, but I'll just share my experience. I think 2.5 going on 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and it was a bit of a shock to me because it was not something I was thinking of. And most people will wonder what's diabetes. It's all about the insulin produced in your body. Either you're not producing enough, or you're producing too much and you're not using it up. It was strange to me, and I sort of went into a bit of a depression because I wasn't expecting that. But I should have guessed because I was sweating a lot. I was drinking lots and lots of juice and things, and then my eyes were blurry. That was the first. In fact, that was the first thing. And I used to tell my colleague at work that my computer screen is blurry. I have my reading glasses on. I can't see. There's something wrong. But I just thought my lenses needed to be changed. I never thought that it was it had anything to do with diabetes. And I just went to the GP on something else, and they took my blood. And the next thing they text me, I said, "Come back right now." You know that they suspect that. So I have what is called type 2 diabetes, and I manage it with a diet and tablets. Type 1, I think, is when you use the insulin. You all know about the insulin injection. I have to take my tablets 3 times a day, and I have to be on a very strict diet. It could come in different forms. It could be being overweight, and obviously sometimes that comes with age. Usually from after 40, you're likely to get the type 2 diabetes. And there's a lot of it that is going on around now. We need to be very aware. Now, for me as an African, the first thing was the diet, because of the type of food that we Africans eat, the usual food. And luckily for me, I'm not crazy about fufu. I don't eat it that much, so it wasn't a big deal for me. It was easily cut off. But you need to watch your diet. You need to watch your intake of sugary and sweet things. Keep taking your tablets and gradually, and exercising. It's a condition or a disease that you can manage very well. And in some cases, people have completely stopped their tablets and just live normal life. But you need to be strict with your diet. A lot of us Africans, we don't exercise enough. If I must say that, we don't exercise enough. Now, we're also living in a country where we don't sweat as much as back home. You know, back home, even if it's a little walk, you sweat a lot. So you are able to sweat a lot of the carbohydrates that turns into the energy out. But here, it's not. So you've got to make that extra effort to do it. It's not the diabetes that is the problem, it's the complications that comes from the diabetes. And one of it, apart from the eyes, is also the kidneys. They're very particular about the kidneys. So they test the way your kidneys are functioning, and then the sight as well. And sometimes we see a lot of amputees around, and most of it is from diabetes. They've had to be amputated because of diabetes. If you have sores, sometimes it doesn't heal properly, so you need to be very, very careful with it. But the important thing is the diet. Watch the carbohydrate intake, watch the oil. We Africans cook with a lot of oil. We need to watch the oil intake, and also exercise. And it's really, really helpful with the diet. And I've lost a lot of weight. Jenny will tell you that. I've lost a lot of weight from when I went on the diet to now. I feel much better. My eyes are tested every 6 months, because also there's a history of glaucoma in my father's family. And there's also a history of diabetes on both sides, of my mother's side and my father's side. But it's all about the old age diabetes. It's not there. But obviously, because it's there, I've got to watch it and be very careful about that. There are lots of leaflets at the back there. Please take information, and let's just watch our symptoms and let's just watch our diet. The diet is very important in whatever we do. I walk to and from the office now, which is good for me. But I also, in the cold, it's also good to keep warm as well, because it's easy for you not to have feelings. You know, your fingertips and your toe tips go numb, and you have to monitor that and make sure you keep your limbs, very warm. So we've talked about different things today, different conditions today, and at the end of the bottom line is awareness. Once you're aware of any condition that you have, then you can live better and live healthier, and be happier with it. And you can get over some of these things if you keep to a strict diet. Okay? Yes.
Well, there's something I want to say. Obviously, I don't have that. But what I wanted to say, I think, when you're a grown-up person and you got it, then the responsibility comes to you to change your diet, to exercise.
Yes.
But what people tend to forget is that even children can get
Right.
diabetes. Because I've got my friend, his daughter was diagnosed with diabetes and she was only 6.
Yeah.
So I think in that way, I would like to raise awareness for every parent, as Mo said, to try to watch the diet.
Of the children.
It's not only about you, but it's about as well
the children as well.
Whatever you're feeding them now, this is what will bring
it will have an effect later.
So if you can cut everything that can...
Yes, all the crisps and the biscuits and all that. There's lots of fresh fruits.
She's getting insulin
at 6. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we always think that buying a packet of crisps and giving the children to keep quiet is a solution. It's not. There are lots of other ways. From a very young age, encourage them to eat lots of fruits and lots of vegetables as well. I don't buy fizzy drinks. I don't buy soft drinks in the house. If you find soft drink in my house, then maybe it's because I'm entertaining. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. And since I've been diagnosed, I don't buy the juice. I make my own, because only pure juice is the one you juice yourself. Every other thing from the supermarket has additives to it and sugar, because they need it to preserve it. The manufacturers need to put it there to preserve it. So, Ramel is very, very correct. Let's watch the crisps we give the children. Let's watch all these sugary drinks that we give the children. It's very important. It's convenient for us, but it doesn't mean you can't eat it, but you need to watch the portion. And also, what time do you eat it? Do you eat it at 10:30 at night? After eating it, in about 45 minutes, you're going to bed. You're not going to use up that energy. They can eat it, but children are very active. Yeah, they're active, so they'll burn it up. It's not so much for the children, as long as they're not diagnosed very early. Just watch all those junk food we give them, because we all do it. We're in the shop and we buy the crisps, we buy the biscuits, because it's convenient for us to give it to them to be quiet. But we all do it. So you need to watch that. Buy more apples, buy more fruits, and cut it up and let them have that habit. And let them drink water, which helps to cleanse you out, and water is important. Because we've taught them to like it.
Juice.
They don't have a choice. We introduced it to them. Remember, we introduced it to them. So we are the ones that have to watch it so that they grow up healthy. But it's something that you can live with. It's something that you can even get over. Because some people have been tested and later on they said, look, you're completely